Terry, welcome to Video Tuck. Thank you so much for coming today.
Good to be here.
Well, let's just launch right into things. Following the theme of mobile for this year's Brit Technology Impact Series, what are the three things you think anyone needs to know about the mobile space today?
Well, first of all, a lot of people say that their industry is the best and interesting things are happening. I truly believe right now with mobile, it's a very, very interesting time because three things are happening. Number one, the business is going from being a voice business to a data business. Huge, huge shift to data traffic, people accessing information on the go. That's the first kind of key message with the mobile industry. The second thing is all of that has happened because there's a variety of enablers have been occurring. Number one, networks now are fast. It was years and years ago, people want to access something on the internet on their mobile device. It'd be slow and they'd be waiting and waiting and waiting. Networks are fast right now. Second thing is devices are great. High resolution screens, large screens, good form factors, etc. And then the third thing is everything's integrated. As opposed to a cool device but bad services, you can't figure out what you need to do next, etc. Everything is integrated. So those things coming together have allowed for this huge transformation now from a voice business to a data business.
So it sounds as though there's been a bit of a mobile revolution.
There has.
And from your perspective, what does this mobile revolution accomplish?
So there's several things. The exciting thing now is customers, whether they be consumers or whether they be enterprise business users, they can take information and access information on the go. So if you think about it, just time and motion study, how many people have to go to their office, have to go to their home to get things that they need information-wise? With mobile devices we have now, that's not required. The speed of the networks, etc., that changes things. Then with all of that, there are whole different ways that businesses can operate. So people that have a field sales force can give them information on inventory, on customer issues that are going on, sales tracking, etc. All that can be monitored on the go. And consumers, again, can have free and independent lives. The last angle that I'll just mention is you think about in the emerging markets. We tend to, on the technology side, talk about developed market things, but in the emerging markets where there aren't fixed infrastructure, existing like we have in the US, you basically have people using their mobile for everything. There's no alternative. And as the networks get quicker and quicker in the emerging markets, people will access the internet 100% of the time on a mobile device, and that creates, huge opportunities in an emerging market.
So thinking about the commercial impacts of the advances in mobility, can you talk a little bit about the shifts of value change and business model changes that are happening as a result?
Yeah, so first of all, there are changes going on in our company to be able to be successful in this environment, and then there are customer changes that are going on. Let me actually just talk about our own company and the things that have to go on there. Number one, prices are coming down. Everybody can see their mobile bill, whether it's voice, text, etc. Prices come down. So we have to get cost out of our business. And how do we do that? Well, we squeeze costs like every other company does, but we change the business models more and more. So when we acquired our company in India, we had for the first time what we would call reverse synergies. Instead of taking all these great things in Europe and the US and exporting them to a new market, we learned from India and said, you know what? Here's a market where mobile is offered at 1 penny a minute. 1 penny a minute. Europe is at 7, 8, 9 euro cents. The US is at 5, 6, 7 cents. This is at 1 penny a minute, and they make good margins. But they've outsourced a huge amount. IT activities, all the distribution is outsourced. Mom and pop distributors, not company-owned distributors. A lot of learnings there. We've had to adjust our whole effort to be successful in that environment. We've had to become much more web savvy. Most mobile operators, the heritage is running a network, right? An engineering activity, 5.9 reliability, all that good stuff. You basically have to find a way to learn about new content, new services, user interfaces, all those good things. So those have been the things that we've had to do. Now on the customer side, there's a lot of changes with the customers and what they can do. So as in a small example, advertising. If you're a global advertiser, more and more now you want to be thinking about, can I get to that mobile customer? That mobile customer, by the way, is a higher demographic, more mobile, and more targeted, as opposed to running an ad on a TV where you don't know who you're going to get. Lots of opportunities like that. On the enterprise side, people being able to liberate their sales force, their repair force, and be able to get the information that they need there. Finally, just consumer lifestyle, machine to machine. Picture the day where you don't have to go home and turn on your heating, your air conditioning, your alarm system. All of that can be done remotely. Healthcare workers can transmit information about how people are doing remotely, where you don't have to be there physically. That's great in the emerging markets, by the way. Lots and lots of changes, all from these mobile advances.
There have been concerns about disintermediation between wireless customers and service providers. How will operators continue to differentiate themselves?
Yeah, so disintermediation, with all the greatness of data growing, the business getting bigger in emerging markets, all these great upsides, disintermediation is one of the risks that will happen. And what is required is the mobile operators own that customer well. I mean, it sounds trite, but all the things necessary that say that customer is going to want to come back to us and not to somebody else. So what does that mean? It's several things. And the U.S. in this first one's a good example. Network quality. It does matter a huge amount. You can get a lot of promises about great service and fast data rates and all this, and if you don't have network coverage that allows for a smooth, fast connection, it doesn't matter what you're telling your customers. Verizon Wireless, who's our entity in the U.S., has done a great job of really differentiating on that front. A second area is maintaining a customer contact point, whether that's a retail store, whether that's a call center that provides great, great service. Because when you think about it, customers are getting more complicated devices now. They're mini PCs, and they need to be explained, how does that work and how do you download your contacts, etc. And people in general are going to want to go to a retail shop and talk to somebody face to face and get that background. And at a minimum, talk to somebody on the phone. That's something the mobile operators do today. They have to continue to excel at that. The final area, which is the newest frontier, is you have to know that customer. The most fundamental things about where do they go physically, what do they like to buy, how do they like to interact, because that customer information allows you to cater future offerings to them. All the ongoing relationship management activities, all of that can be managed together if you do a good job. And obviously I work at a mobile operator, so I believe we will succeed in that, but it is a challenge to keep the bar raised there.